Okay, so we're back with another training log. Um, this one's going to be about 2 weeks. First week is going to be like a normal standard um, training log. We're couple times in the gym, a couple times out in the field, right? And then the second week, it's going to be pretty much just 3 days of throwing, and those 3 days of throwing are because I'm competing this weekend at the Sterling Classic Highland Games in Yukon, Oklahoma. As the title of the video suggests, this actually is not my last Highland Games. I'm not quitting, but I am. This is my last amateur Highland Games, so I will be going up to the pro class and doing those games. So, end of one, beginning of another. So pretty cool. Let's get into the throws. So as you see here in the background, we got sheaf going on. This is actually a really good sheaf day. One of the better sheaf days I've had in a long time. The consistency that I've been working on is paying off. I'm very rarely having them fly off to the left or hooking behind me. It happens every now and again, but not nearly as common as it was before. And a lot of that is because of my right hand. If you watch my right hand, starts off long and then hooks in to my chest as quickly as I can. And that was one of the better tosses. As you can see by the little star annotation in the corner that I made. I was going to do that for all the good throws during these practices to kind of let you guys know what the good ones are, help me remind you so when I'm watching it and talking about it. But I didn't do that. That's the only one I did it on. So if you like knowing which one's the good one, let me know and I'll keep doing it. I'll try to keep doing it. All right, so now we're in the gym. This is one of 2 lifting sessions I did this week. I did a speed bench and a speed squat. I tried to do a day of like Olympic lifting snatches and cleans and stuff like that. But I came out and I did, one clean at 135 and just said, nah, you're not feeling it. So I packed it up and went in. Pretty fatigued this entire week and just kind of not in the mood to do the things I needed to do. Not a big deal. It's okay. There's always more other weeks. Coming back in next week, we're going to hit the gym a whole lot harder, whole different programming and stuff like that. But, on this, for the squat day, it was like 5 sets of 2 reps at about 70 or 75%. I can't remember exactly which. I don't have my book in front of me right now. But pretty good session overall. It hit the reps and what that I needed to. Now we go to the field for the throws portion. Right, this Braemar, the stand throw that we do, is hot garbage. I can't even begin to describe how annoying it's been trying to figure that out. So I'm after this week, after a couple bad stone sessions, I'm gonna put the stones on a little bit of the back burner. I got some other numbers I want to chase, some other things I want to get better at that aren't so frustrating as stones. I will do stones again, practice them really aggressively and try to work out the kinks, but right now is just not the time. I don't have, I know what I need to do. I just don't have a feel for it. And it's making me have a real frustrated time. So we're going to lay off on the stones. Now, the heavyweight. This heavyweight session, pretty decent. I'm still kind of doing that keep it kind of forward a little bit. Technically it's not forward of the hip, like I've talked about before, but I'm trying to make it to where it feels a little bit forward. Really it's waiting on it. And while I'm waiting on it, for some reason, it just helps me be able to sprint a lot faster. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on here. Later in the week, I will actually start moving that weight a little bit behind my right hip. And that will, the hard part is trying to find that balance of how far is too far back. To still be able to sprint and have power at the finish, because believe it or not, I'm not a big guy compared to a lot of the other Highland Games athletes. So I have to kind of like do things a little bit differently. I don't weigh 300 pounds. So I'm not 6'5", right? But though, so now we're on to the light hammer. All those throws, the stones and the heavyweight before this, the whole point of them was just kind of get to this point. I've been thinking about throwing light hammer for a couple days. It's been on my mind. I feel like I had some good practice numbers, some new things I really wanted to work at that I think is going to help a lot. Because after the previous week, I had a heavy hammer practice PR at 108. So I knew some hammers are working, some things are changing, and so that's kind of what I wanted to work on here, and it worked out. I had a good light hammer practice PR at 130 or 131, something like that. Pretty far, really excited about that. My hammers don't really go that far in practice, and they did this day because it's just been on my mind, and I was really excited to get out there and do the things that I've been thinking about, like changing and working on. So now here's the bench press, the speed bench. Again, this is 5 sets, 2 reps at about 70 or 75%. And these went really well. Felt really explosive, even though I didn't have shoes on. I was barefoot or in Birkenstocks during these lifts. I changed up the rep scheme for my rows, put them a little bit heavier and less reps, trying to move them way faster. So that was pretty cool. It felt good. The next day we go to the field again for the third or second, whatever it is, throws day. This is open stone. I do this to myself a lot. If something is like my quality of a throw is questionable, sometimes I decide just to like push it to see, like, let's see how far we can actually take this thing. So I put my mark out there pretty far, and I just started trying to like bomb it out there. And my left arm wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. My head wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. It was just a really dumb practice session for the open stone. So after a couple throws, I just called it and moved on to the lightweight. This lightweight session, I was just out of sorts. I keep stepping on the trig, stepping over the trig. I messed up a few times, and it was really frustrating. It was just a really bad practice. But I took a lot more pulls than I should have on this lightweight. I knew this practice was shot, but I kept telling myself, just get through the lightweight, and then you can go on to the heavy hammer after, and that'll make you feel good. But at some point, I decided just to call it. These lightweights aren't working. The heavy hammer is not going to work. Don't beat yourself up. Just pack up and go home. I didn't want to teach myself anything bad by, especially with the hammers, after they've been going so well. Yeah, and that was me calling it. And now here, this is a couple days later. This is Monday. This is starting the games week practices, right? I didn't do any lifting this week. I might actually do one later after like recording this. I might do a later session on Thursday morning, just something light, quick and dirty, speed work, some of the trap bar, maybe some jumps. But during this games week, I'm going to be doing right here the heavyweight for distance, and then I go lightweight for distance right after, and that's all I'm doing. And I take a bunch of pulls with both of them. I had a kind of like an epiphany of sorts, I guess, where I don't normally use chalk for weights. I've never felt the need for it. I never thought it was really that beneficial to use chalk for me. But I was just having like a sweaty time, a hard time gripping that thing. And I felt like when I was gripping it, I was having to squeeze the crap out of the handle, which like doesn't help you be long and loose, right? So I put some chalk on there, and I started figuring some stuff out. And I started putting some speed on it. And when I was putting some speed on it, I was keeping that weight a little bit behind me. And once I started figuring that out a little bit, trying to figure out how far is too far behind me and how far is too far in front of me, getting a nice, good like balance of that, I started working on my up and down, my high and low point. because again, being a not super large thrower, I can't just like stand up tall and have the weight go 35 feet. I got to move quick, and I got to try to my best to put it up high. Otherwise, it's not going anywhere. So it's a whole process for me to like try to stay grounded through the finish with the 56. But now onto the lightweight. The lightweight this practice is, I mean, weights overall on this practice, best I've ever done. The heavyweight, I think I had like 3 or 4 out at 37, which is very good for me, especially in practice. Excited about that, but nothing under like 34. And so 34 is like kind of like my bottom. It feels like right now, which I'm okay with. I'm not like super sad about that. Granted, I mean, I would want it higher, but whatever. But this lightweight session, everything really clicked. Everything went super far. It was awesome. That one was a little wonky one, but like a lot of the kinks I've like issues I've been having over the last month or so kind of feel like they kind of went away. And I don't think it was a practice PR, but it was very far. I think my practice PR was 75, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it's around there. But I had a few of them, 3 or 4 of them out at 74 and some change. And then the rest of them, like nothing was under 72. Everything was over 72, which was just a nuts practice. I was really excited about that. And I'm really glad I just kind of stuck with throwing the lightweight and the heavyweight and not trying to add stones in, not trying to add hammers in, just a big long practice of those. Okay, so now on a Tuesday, on games week, I'm doing height events. And because it works out that way, that's just the best time for me to get them in. But this sheet session wasn't as good as the one last week, but still very good, still very consistent. Just making sure to keep that that right arm checked on the finish, just shoving it up in there. Keeping my left side long, keeping balanced. I don't know if it's because of like the weight gain that I've had, or I just kind of switched up my style with sheaf. I'm not rotating through my follow through like I used to. I used to like come up on my tippy toes and pivot on my my right foot and kind of spin around. I'm not really doing that anymore. I don't know why. I think it's going just as far or high, but it's a little bit different. I had a lot of good tosses, building consistency, keeping that right arm in and the left arm long. I did have a little bit of issue with like I like to have a high start where the bag is about head height when you're starting the throw, and I like to do that high on my tippy toes to get that big long push. And I was having a hard time keeping the bag in time with me as I was putting it up there, but that could just be my bag, right? Not a big deal. Every bag is different. Then we go to WOP, weight over bar. I put the bar at like 13, like a big 13, like 13.3 or something like that. And it was pretty good. I missed quite a few of them, but I also got a bunch of them. But the ones I missed, I wasn't like upset by. I wasn't just like whiffing it right under. They're a little out front, or they land on top and roll forward. But I made like maybe 3 or 4 of them. One of them, the best one, I didn't record. I clicked record. I clicked record and I walked away. And then when I came back to go throw, I clicked pause and then I threw. So I missed the good one. Not a big deal. All right, now for the mock games. I'm just throwing both stones, both weights, both hammers for no more than like 5 throws each. And that, again, probably talked about this before. It's just kind of to mimic like a couple warm-up throws in your 3 competition throws. Sometimes if they're feeling really good, I'll take like 1 or 2 more to kind of simulate like what extras will feel like and just kind of get an idea of what kind of pushing on it is. But I'll run through these real quick here. The Braemar toss, really bad. I think the best one was like 36. Not what I want for a 20-pound shot. Whatever. Moving past the Braemar stone, like I said, we're gonna work on that another time. We'll put a lot of effort into that later. We got other numbers we're chasing right now, and it's not the Braemar. Open stone went okay. I mean, 46, I think was my best. I was a little all over the place. Heavyweight, I think the best was 36 for one of them, and the rest were around 34 or 33. Not crying about that. That's okay. Lightweight actually went really bad. I lost a couple of them pretty early off to the right. And the best one was like 70. Heavy hammer was like 102, and light hammer was 128. Not bad, pretty good for practice, for a mock games kind of practice. And just kind of give like, these is just to get like what my baseline is, what like I can just do rolling out of bed kind of numbers. They're not PRs, they're just kind of like, if I hit these in competition, I will be okay. I'm happy with these numbers. So that's pretty much it. Again, this is 2 weeks of throwing combined into one video. I'll figure some other video for next week, on next Wednesday. But like I said, it's going to be next competition is at the Sterling Classic Highland Games in Yukon, Texas. So if you're, Yukon, Oklahoma. So if you're in Yukon, you're in the Oklahoma City area, come out. It's going to be a great time. It's a great festival. It's one of the few games in the country that has Super A classes, so good throwers are going to be there. And after that, next stop is the No Fame home games in Milford, Massachusetts. Again, throwing there as a pro, not quitting the games, just getting better, throwing farther, throwing into a different group of guys. But I'll let the rest of this video just play out. Again, thanks for watching. Throw far. God bless.